But partnering with the Chinese, they're like, well, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You want to be a warlord? Be a warlord. Just pay back the loan. You want to be a dictatorship? Be a dictatorship, but pay back the loan. For us, we're like, oh, no, no, no. We don't give anybody money unless they are a democracy with fair and free elections that also does this and also does this. And there's again, going back to your part about hearts and minds, there's like the people who very much want democracy to work all over the world. I've been around the world. Fucking democracy is not going to work everywhere in the world. Democracy doesn't, just like some students shouldn't go to college, they should go to trade school. Some fucking countries shouldn't get democracies. They should stay under some sort of authoritarian rule. Arguably, we were better off leaving Saddam Hussein in place than we were taking him out, because the country was stable and anti-Iran when he was in place. But we spent 2 different wars trying to get that guy unseated, right? I wonder, Rocco, if our solution isn't necessarily in trying to make things better as much as it is in taking a turn inward and becoming more isolationist again, and just rebuilding our own internal capabilities, building our own student capabilities, our own tech capabilities, our own foreign language capabilities. Because right now we are incredibly vulnerable because we are so dependent on a globalized economy to keep our own economy up to snuff.
Yeah, it's a scary time. You know, it's why the border conversation makes me even more nervous, because just the tactical brain of mine, right, is always nervous about the worst case scenario. And I've seen what's happening currently on our borders. I see the vulnerabilities. I see the numbers that the CBP posts about, terrorist ties of the people that come across and that they've been able to apprehend, and some that they miss. And so, internally it feels almost like, the Trojan horse, we're the Trojan horse, and we're just stacking, adversaries here in our country currently, the ones that we can count for, the ones we don't. You, as a CIA intelligence officer, what was part of your system in trying to identify these individuals so you can get them out of the country, or at least apprehend them?
Yeah, it was tricky because once the truth is, once somebody has set foot on American soil, a certain element of American laws and American privileges and citizen freedoms automatically apply to them. So once they cross the border, and this is what people don't understand, once a person crosses the American border, they gain some of the rights of our own citizens.
Yeah.
It becomes very difficult to track their phone. It becomes very difficult to monitor and put surveillance on their home. It becomes difficult to clone their computer, because they gain some of the rights and privileges of our own citizens. Because if you imagine the United States as being like, under a dome, they've essentially they've entered the protected zone.
Yeah.
So while they're outside, we have options. Once they come inside, those options are greatly reduced. And the options that you do still have require multiple levels of bureaucratic approval. You need local municipal law enforcement approval. You need district approval. You need political approval. And then you get to the federal level, and then you need more law enforcement approval and more political approval. So it's like, it becomes incredibly difficult. So a big part of CIA's mission was always, and what I did when I was at CIA, was identifying threats and making sure that you built firewalls so that they could never capitalize on the benefits of crossing into our border. You put people on blacklists. You put people on suspect lists. You put people on secondary lists, meaning when they hit the border, they get pulled by Border Patrol into secondary for more advanced interrogations. So you try to create a buffer so that if that person ever tries to come across the border, then they're blocked. But here's a big part of our challenge, Vince. Most people think of the borders as Canada and Mexico. The whole reason we fought a civil war, it wasn't because of arguments about slavery or shoes or anything else. We fought a civil war because Lincoln understood the importance of maintaining ocean borders from coast to coast, because ocean borders are always arguably easier to police than physical borders. Well, now we live in an era where our most porous borders are actually our ocean borders. Human beings can come across in cargo, disguised as cargo, right? You or I could literally sail a boat from Canada, arrive in Massachusetts, tie the boat off, and just step off the boat and be inside the United States. Have
Yeah.
no immigration officer, have nobody check our passports. If we do it after 4 o'clock, there won't even be somebody at the marina, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've done some time on some of the boats and how it's patrolled. And really, it's just trying to identify these certain characteristics that are known for being smuggling boats. But if you see a yacht show up, it's most likely you're not even going to second guess that yacht because it's probably
Yep.
some millionaire billionaire that just works, that's always around. I saw a video the other day on, one of these social media channels where an illegal immigrant was on the back of a ski-doo and they just rode him in, boom, dropped him off, turned around, and picked up another one.